weeks. A lot has been happening, dude. Um, dude, we have brought in over 100K this month.
Oh wow, like prepayments.
Yeah,
Oh
prepayments.
wow.
Um, and we're still kind of just finishing up our winter fund. So we already have like a bunch of money from that 100K for the next winter fund already. So that's good stuff. Hey, as I was saying before my audio went out, I usually get a lot of comments on like the compliments I get on this channel is like how honest I am, especially like about the bad shit, you know?
Yeah,
So I actually do have some more bad shit,
yeah.
but I got a lot of good stuff that's happening, you know? So let's talk about the good first. So are you doing any pre-sales?
Yeah, I've closed a lot of pre-sales. I was on the phone all day yesterday doing some, but I've also had my fair share of bad stuff already mess up the mojo of the year. So I don't happen. Being wonky.
Sorry, man. It's like one thing after another. If I put my phone on airplane mode, I probably lose my audio. Now the phone starts ringing, and then
Do you
and then it shuts down until like they leave a voicemail. So it's annoying as
you
hell.
you don't put it on do not disturb?
You
If
think
you
I can
put
do
it
that
on,
now?
yeah, that's what I just did when we jumped on.
All
If you
right,
put it on that, then the calls won't come through.
all right. Let's try it. All right. So as I was saying, you're doing a lot of so are they paying for the whole year for these services, or just like setting up, or what?
Um, Not the whole year of mowing. I'm doing a lot of like the spring wake ups. The fertilizing, I'm selling a lot of those like for the year. I haven't got anybody to buy mowing all year though yet, but I have, like I've told you before, I've got a bunch of cards on file, which feels really
Yeah.
good. Um,
Nice.
that feels good, but I have got some backlash on that, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna
You're gonna
stress
lose
about it.
people. You know,
Yeah.
we get people now, especially like with all the scammers that's happening, dude. It's like crazy. And so even like regulars are like, I don't want to put my card on file anymore. It's like, dude. So it's gonna always be that way, but it's the only way to go. Except for like we're taking commercial accounts now, and we're letting them do the monthly billing, which we actually want. That's the reason why we went into commercial, was to get the monthly billing, believe it or not, so that when winter comes, we'll have that steady flow coming in. That's the plan anyway. So, but getting them to pay prepay for the whole year for mowing, dude, that's where it's at, man. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm just thinking it's baby steps for me this year. I'm gonna
yeah,
try
yeah,
to
yeah.
convert everybody to credit card on file, and then I have done some of that level billing. I do a lot of Airbnbs, or there's a huge college here, and a
Nice.
lot of people own houses and rent them out to college kids. So I got them all on a. There's like probably 15 of them that I converted them all to a level billing, including all the services. So hopefully that helps in the
Sweet.
winter.
Hell yeah.
Which I got the idea from you, to be honest. So thank
Yeah,
you.
and I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. I got a lot of friends that basically through the winter, they're bringing in like 40, 50K or more a month.
Yeah,
And
that'd
they're
be
still
nice.
complaining that it's not snowing enough. And it's already like, they're already getting the money. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's the good news. But the mowing, I don't like. You don't sound like you feel bad. You're not getting any. That's good. You're taking baby steps. But that is a service to prepay for mowing for the whole year. Customers do have to kind of trust you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I was just here in the office yesterday, and Rachel's like, "Yeah, we just got a brand new customer. She signed up for everything. She did all the FEP deals." And I go, "Really? And it's a brand new customer?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "That's kind of weird, isn't it?" She's like, "Dude, no. She wanted all year fertilizing, spring wake up package. Um, something else. And then she signed up for mowing. And I go, oh, but she didn't prepay for mowing. No, she didn't. She did for everything else, but not mowing. And I was like, all right, now I was actually like, I wasn't concerned, but I had that same feeling. Like, how does a new customer sign up for prepaid mowing? They don't even know us, like, because that's a lot of money, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it all made sense after I kind of investigated a little bit. And it's okay to prepay for fertilizing. I think that's pretty common for all
Mhm.
companies and customers, and maybe even a big service like a spring wake up package or something, power rake and aeration. I forget what the last one. Oh, and she signed up for sprinkler adjustment. So we don't make people pay for that up front because we don't know how many zones they have. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And what kind of parts they're going to need when we get there. But we do give them a 5% discount just for signing up, just so they'll be on our schedule in April. And so that fills up our schedule pretty good for that. And then when the techs get there, they can give them their custom quote and then 5% discount. But yeah, signing up for mowing, even now, I've been doing the prepaid mowing. I don't even know. Like, I feel like it's been over 10 years. And still to this day, new customers don't do it. So
Just
it's something you
on
have to build. You have to build a relationship with your customers for them to feel confident you can do it. So that's why, like, when you do end up getting them, you got to do it rain or shine, bro.
yeah,
Don't ever give
yeah.
them a reason to think they paid for something and you're not going to do it. Like, you have to do it, man. Every week, guaranteed, no matter what. Figure out a way, because that's how you'll build that continuous every year. They'll come back plus the new ones. So that's why you get bigger. The weird thing is, last year we sold 48 uh, mowing service, like prepaid mowings, 48. So I was asking Rachel, I go, how many did we? Because we're only at like 28 right now. And I'm fine with that because this is the first year that we're not actually spending this money on labor, buying 5 grandstands. You know what I mean? It's just like we're putting it in all these accounts so that we're like managing money to the best of our abilities, something that we planned for all winter. And so, but I'm like, the fact that we only have like 28, that's not that many. Um, compared to last, because I felt like last year we had a lot, so we did. It's like almost 20 more, I think, right? Yeah. So far, 20 more, but we still have a week, right? We still got next week as the last push, and that's where customers, probably the procrastinators, are going to sign up. So anyway, that's the good stuff. Like, all good. How
Quick,
about you? What do you got that's really kicking ass right now for you?
well, quick question on that.
Yeah.
That person that signed up but didn't prepay for the mowing, next season, how do you get them to like, do you give them, like, no option to not prepay or, like, not like in a enforcement way, but like that lady, if she's with you next year again, do you say like, "Hey, it really makes sense to prepay and you get this discount," uh, or
Yeah.
like, because you want to get everybody on that, like, that'd be like an
Totally.
ideal world where, like,
Yeah.
everybody would just prepay, right?
Well, it's not actually not an ideal world to get every single customer, because if you don't manage your money good at first, like all this prepaid money, if like last year I spent my prepaid money, which was like the most money we've ever gotten, ever, was last year so far, and it all went to labor. By March, it was gone completely, 100%. We were now, everything we worked and got in charge that day was all that was kind of getting in the funds. So it could be bad, but luckily we had enough work that it kind of carried us through, and everybody still got their jobs done. You know what I mean? So you don't want everybody on it. You want enough to, like, if you need to buy 3 grandstands cash, you can do it. You need a good truck. You have enough money to do it. At this stage of my business, it makes more sense to buy new and just make payments on a financing, part
Yeah.
for me. But when you can buy a good truck for 5,000, 7,000 bucks, and it's a good truck and you're growing, that money is awesome. And then you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about any payments and stuff. Your credit's good. So I kind of look at it like how many are on everybody's list every day. I feel like if they've got three, if they've got full lists every day, and every tech has about three prepays every day, that's pretty good. Once you start getting into like five, that's like a quarter of their route. You know what I mean? If they have more, like seven,
Yeah.
ew, they've got like $800 on their list, but only 300 is billable that day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, so that's why we only do it in February. So like that customer, when they sign, like this year, they're going to pay full price for mowing. You know what I mean? Like I know it's only 5% difference, but that's 5%, and then next year it's going to go up 3%. So you know what I mean? It's always going to go up. So it's better to just pay. But we tell everybody, sorry, you can only prepay and get the 5% discount for mowing in February. That's kind of like our way of getting everybody to do it in
Mhm.
February. And even with that strict kind of way of getting the discount, still only a fraction will do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But enough do it. Like right now, we have 10K in the winter fund for next year. We have about that much in operations right now. So if we had to go buy like a little mower, boom, we have them. Like we have so much stuff, we don't need to buy anything right now, thankfully. We've got like 2K for materials, and that's before customers even start paying for it, and we start replenishing that with the material money. We have like 40K in labor, and that's not even including 10K that's still owed to us for snow. So we're good. You know what I mean? And it goes on and on. Like we got like money and profit and everything, and it's only February. We haven't even started, but we're like our accounts are ready to go. Like we are ready. Um, so that's the beauty of the Feb deal. But again, you don't want everybody on. Imagine you had like, first of all, no, not everybody's going to do it. It's going to be like 20. It's like $2,000. You
Yeah.
know, but you got customers that they just trust you and go, here, just take it so I don't have to pay for it and I get a discount. Sure. Some customers they don't even know that that is a discount. And then when they say go ahead and do it, they'll reply like the next day and say, hey, I was curious, since I prepaid for the whole year, shouldn't I get a discount?
Mhm.
We're like, yeah, it is 5%. You did get a discount. The other thing is, you are going to have customers that don't, like, you didn't mow for whatever reason, or maybe like the weather came too cold and you stopped mowing early, so they've got a credit on their account. We go out of our way to let our customers know that they got a credit on their account because we stopped mowing early. That way, they know, oh, cool. Like I still have $300. Yeah, we'll apply that for next year. Or if we got a Feb deal, you can apply it to that. So we do that. Um, and I'm fine with it because I don't want to like take anybody's money and then they ask questions about it. There were some years where I was like, hey, no matter what, we're gonna like this will cover your mowing for the whole year. So even if we skip, it's like it doesn't matter. Because we're gonna make sure it's good by the end of the year. But I think that still feels, it doesn't feel fair, even on my
Yeah.
side or theirs. So we just started leaving it as a credit. So anyway, that's the bad news. You ready for this?
Yeah.
My landlord is trying to kick me out of here.
No way. Like soon?
Trying to. I have a lease, so and it's a good lease. So you know what I mean. So anyway, it's you know what I mean. He's still trying to go behind like the back end, trying to do things to make sure he's covered, but on the front end, you know, I have a lease. So anyway,
Um,
okay, so that's the bad news, which could be really scary. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that could be
pretty,
like really bad.
it's yeah, really bad. I have 20 trucks back there, and it's not like I could just take them to my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna fill up your street.
Yeah, it'll be bad. Last, so I was gonna buy the last shop I was in. I talked with the owner. We agreed we were just gonna do a owner finance. I was just gonna pay the owner, and he's gonna sign the title over to me. But like within a matter of like 5 months, um, we grew so fast that we outgrew it. You know, it went from like, dude, this is a huge space to like the tiniest little space in a matter of like half a year. And so we were parking on the street, and the neighbors, dude, like they wanted to they wanted to tie me up and burn me, bro. Burn me to a stake, dude. They really did. And so they were calling the city on me for every little thing. The city came, they fined me for not like they were looking for everything because they had so much pressure on the residents. So I leased a property that didn't have a house on it on that same street, and I bulldozed it out, leveled it out. I mean, dude, we did over 100 trips with a dumpster to the dump to unload the dirt. I
Yeah.
worked out a deal with the owner of the garbage place or whatever, and basically that would have cost like $50,000 to do what I did just so I could park there. It was a lot cheaper for me because we did it, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did it, and then they called the city on me because I wasn't supposed to. You can't do that after it was all done, dude. So I mean, dude, yeah. Sorry, everybody, that I always talk about the negative stuff. But if you want to get into business, man, this is the kind of stuff you got to deal with. And so, anyway, my landlord is trying to get me out. He's being cool about it. Okay, so here's the deal. He owns like 2 blocks, all 2 blocks of stuff. And on the 2 blocks, let's say I'm just going to throw out a number, 30 lots. Okay.
Mhm.
Out of the 30 lots, 26 of them are storage units. 4 of them are mine and 2 other properties. Right. So I take up two lots, and then my 2 neighbors on either side take up a lot each. So in order for him to sell all the storage units, he's making the buyer buy my lots too, just so that he can do it all at once, you know?
Mhm.
So he can get the most value out of it. So he found a buyer, and you know, of course, I'm the little thorn in the whole thing because I have a lease, you know? And so, you know, it would just make the landlord's life a lot easier if I just left. But I can't just leave. And so anyway, I've been trying to work with the seller and the buyer. And so that's the bad news that I'm trying to get, you know, and then the landlord, he's trying to just protect himself to get the sale done and make it easier for the buyer. So he wants me out, right? But I'm like, dude, where am I gonna go? You know, you know?
Do you not
So
have in your lease like a buyout option? Like in my lease in the warehouse, if my landlord was to sell, I pretty much have like first say if I want to buy it, and then he can go to
wow.
someone else.
No, that's definitely not in my lease. But um, in a way, in a weird way, he did ask me if I wanted to buy it the day that I found. I saw somebody taking pictures and it looked really suspicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we followed him. So I had Jose follow him, and sure enough, he drives to the landlord, and I saw the picture, and I was like, "That's the landlord." So I'm sure they're trying to sell this place. So it wasn't the landlord that was taking pictures, but it was some other dude that drove around. He was taking pictures around, and then he drove to the landlord. So then I texted the landlord and said, "Hey, bro, what's going on? Are you selling or what?" And he called me and he's like, "Yeah, I'm selling and blah 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 blah." And in that conversation, he claims that he asked me if I wanted to buy it right then and there. You know what I mean? Because he was going to list it. Apparently, that's why he needed the pictures.
Mm.
So in some roundabout way, he technically did ask me first, but it was wintertime. Like it was like December, you know? So I don't have any money. If it was last year, I'd have been like, yeah, dude, let's get this done, you know? But this year was just bad because of the whole year. Um, so anyway, that's all the bad news. And there's some more bad to it, but I don't want to talk about it on here because I'm not trying to cause problems with anybody. I
Yeah.
just want But here's the good news. The guy that's buying it wants to sell it to me just so he can be done with it, because all he wants are the storage units. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
So we're working together, and I've got my realtor talking with him, and they're making deals, and we're gonna try and get something in writing this week. That's the goal. So that's gonna be my focus for this week, is trying to get this deal done. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes, bro. Like, I never had this kind of like desperation in me, and I've got people on my corner with my realtor and the connection she has, and even the seller and buyer both want me to buy this place. So I've got a lot good going for me. I just need to make it happen. You know what I mean? And thankfully, we've got these prepays coming in. So I've already warned Rachel that I already told the guy that wants to sell it to me that I can't I can't just take all this money out of my business because of the kind of business it is. I have to have money in those accounts to buy materials and stuff, and labor. So, but anyway, I did tell Rachel, things are going to happen because we want to make this happen. I mean, this is a good deal for me, and the business, and the location is insane, bro.
Really?
Like, we're right in the middle of a growing city, right in the middle. So I want this done,
Whatever happened to? Are you still getting all brand new mowing trucks or no?
Yeah, well, the plan is, like, we're gonna ride these until they break, they die, and then we'll start replacing them with brand new ones.
Have you
So
decided what you're going with? Like Chevy, Ford, Dodge?
Right now, the top of the list is Dodge. Just because the Dodge salesman actually took the time out of his whole day and basically spent a lot of time with me, and showing me the truck, letting me drive them, and basically telling me that on a dime, if I need one, he'll drive it right over. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
Whereas the Chevy and Ford dealerships, I don't have a fleet account at Dodge, but I do at Chevy and Ford, and they've never tried anything to get me into a truck, ever. The corporate office has called me saying, "Hey, how come you haven't got any trucks?" I'm like, "Well, nobody's called me. Well, how many do you need?" And I go, 5. And then they go, "Okay," and then I never hear from them. So, you know what I mean? The only good thing about fleet account, though, is like you don't really get a discount. I guess there might be a small discount, but nothing substantial. Especially because you kind of have to you have to get like the most basic stuff. Like,
Yeah. Like a workman's package or something.
Yeah, like roll it down with your hand, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You probably have to pedal with your feet. But it's the warranty. So when you get a fleet account, the warranty is like way better than if it was just a regular consumer. So that's one of the things.
With those, would you wrap them or paint them still?
I probably would want to wrap them because I know how hard it is to sell these trucks blue when they're painted. It's a huge barrier for people.
I remember you saying you had a little truck with barely any miles, but nobody wanted it because it was blue.
Yeah. Yeah. And so because of that, it might be a good idea to wrap them. So, I don't know. And I told most of these, the fleet dealers, that if I got the trucks, I wouldn't even want the bed on them, But to be honest with you, so wrapping just the cab would be a lot easier. But they basically said you'd be saving like $500 if you don't get the bed. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, it's like nothing. So, and then we do use them for snow. So, and that's another reason why I want to go with Dodge. Here's the good news with Dodge is they'll all be 4-wheel drive that I can get from them. The bad news is my plows don't fit on their trucks. Like, Boss doesn't fit with Dodge trucks for some reason, or at least with the size trucks that we're going to get, even the smallest plows. And I have a good friend at a Boss dealer who triple checked for me. So we'd have to get different plows for that, I guess. But hey, I guess that'd probably be cheaper in the long run. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on, dude. We start with basically next week is our last week of kind of like the way winter is, with like nobody coming in. Rachel's been coming in, so me and her have been, busy. And then it's supposed to snow like crazy Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a big storm too. And then hopefully that's the last one, because it's been 40 all this week, and then it's supposed to be 60s next week, except for those 2 days. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the last storm, and hopefully, because that's the last week customers prepaid for. So we got to send them a letter saying that this is the last week of prepay. We may have already sent that out, but I'm not 100% sure. But next week for sure. For the residentials. The commercials, we're asking them if they want us to keep coming.
Have you advanced any with the call boss?
Yeah, so we're going through the setup process right now. So they sent us a bunch of stuff. We signed up with Slack. You heard of that? Yeah, that's how they'll communicate with us. If customers ask them a weird question, they can direct message us through that. I gave them login information for Service Titan, and I think we set them up in autopilot. Normally they just do one CSR, but one of the things that I told them when we were looking into them was like, we do have two, and that would be a deal breaker if they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they were breaking a big policy, because they just never had a company that had two, but they said they do want to learn Service Titan, so they want to do it. So yeah, we're getting all that set up. I think they said we're still about a week or two out before that starts, which is great, because we don't need phone calls answered until like at least middle of March. Because a lot of prepaid customers are still going to be calling in March, and we're still going to, we don't have a firm. We say we have a firm cutoff that the last day of February, but like if somebody calls like the first week of March, we'll probably do it. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Do you ever here's I guess a question that is for myself more than anything, but do you ever get like nervous when the phone is say it's like really nice, like here in Iowa it's like been like 60s 70s, like it's crazy nice for some reason, and the phone isn't like going crazy like it would like in the spring. I get it's not like technically spring yet.
Yeah.
Do you ever get, like, nervous, like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" Or, like, you see other companies out driving around, you're like, "Oh, what are they doing?" kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe not that same exact situation. Like, it's still a little early for us. Customers know it can still snow in my area.
Yeah.
So I think we're all on the same page with like, hey, we don't really want to get the water turned on. We don't want to, like, most customers, if the water's turned off, they just think their yard is shut off. Like, it's like a room with the lights off and the windows down. You can't see nothing. Like, that's how they want their yard to be, until they have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, it's sunny. The forecast shows it's sunny as far out as you can see. But what used to get me nervous is like the prepays, right? So like, man, it's the second week of February and we've only gotten 3 prepays. Man, what's going? Man, I'm scared. But that's happened so many times, and then by the time we start, we've got like 20 to 40 or more prepay. So I stopped worrying about it. In fact, even my wife was like, "Oh, shut up! Don't worry about it. You're gonna get a bunch of sales. This always happens." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right." You know. So yeah, I don't let things like that bother me, because when you're in the middle of the season, dude, phone calls just never stop. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I am getting a lot of, like, we've had 2 regulars that are like really good customers say that they're going to go with somebody else this year. And what can you do? We did ask for feedback, and they said, it's just price. So
What
even when you
services
try
were
to
they
do really
doing?
good. What's that?
What services were they with you for?
Garden maintenance and mowing.
They
You
think
know,
you're outpricing them then?
yeah, I guess they just said the price is too high. One of them, honestly, I believe one of them might be going with Fernando. You know,
Oh, really?
yeah. But that property, like, first of all, if somehow we do find out he's doing it, I mean, I don't know. I think we just cut off communication, kind of thing. Like, hey, man, like, it's not cool because that customer is very brought in a lot of money. One in particular, a lot of money. The the bright side of that whole situation is it's such a big account that somebody starting out, it's going to take up so much of their time that
Yeah.
they can't focus on too much more, you know. So it's almost like, yeah, it's a good account, but that's not going to pay for any workers you have all week. Like, it's not an easy thing, But if anybody can do it, it's him. But you know how it is. Account is when you've got a full schedule and one account is really big, it just fits in nicely. It, like, the money still, it flows, but when it's your only account, it's not enough. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. And,
Do
and
you
I don't know. He hasn't. I don't know if I asked him recently if they took it, but at the end of the year, it was like I was kind of vague. You're not taking any of my customers, right? Like, we're good as long as you don't do that. No, nobody. So I'm kind of taking it at that, but it's kind of interesting that one of the customers that really likes him is not coming back next year.
what if
So
it's a situation of they, like, reached out to him and I mean, at that point, maybe he shoulda and, like, morally, like, "Hey, Freddie, this is happening, they want me to take it, like, do you mind?"
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like, not saying he went out and, like, staked them out and, like, "Hey, I wanna take you guys, I'm doing my own thing," but if they
totally.
reached out to him
Yeah, it's one of those things weird. Like, when I laid off my winter work, my summer guys for the winter, the ones that didn't have a driver's license, kind of thing.
yeah.
The next day, they were working for Fernando. And
Oh,
what can I
really?
do?
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do? I laid them off. Like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of that situation where I'm like, I don't know. I just have to kind of go with everything how I feel at the moment I see it, because you know I would love to say he still should say no, but at the same time, he's somebody that wants to grow his business, and I know he's not going to say no. You know, like, even if I asked him to, I think that'd be hard to do. It's just a matter of, okay, well, you take them, it's on, man. Don't ask me for nothing. I can't stop people from signing up with you. So, and he doesn't owe me anything, just like I don't owe him anything. I feel like I don't owe him anything. I paid him as much as I possibly humanly could. In fact, I know I paid him more than he's going to make his first 5 years. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know I've been there. And not only that, I go to mastermind groups with people that are in the multi millions, and they don't make what he makes personally. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
especially starting out. And these people, what I'm trying to say with that mastermind group is a lot of them they're some smart people, okay? And they didn't start out making good money their first year, and he needs good money.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird.
It
He's probably listening to this. What's up, Fernando? I think if anybody can do it, it's you, brother. But it's going to be hard. But I hope you can do it. I did it.
Are
So
you on the topic of employees, do you have a lot of guys coming back?
everybody's coming back, bro.
Everybody is? That's awesome.
There's one guy that didn't respond, and funny I mentioned that to Fernando because I anyway. Fernando helped me out this week. He helped me out on Monday. He's in Italy right now. Um, anyway, he helped me out this week because he's been taking down my Christmas lights for like ever. You know, I hang them up and he takes them down like forever. That's always been kind of our way of doing it. And so I was trying to train these two guys on how to do lights now because it's going to be the sprinkler division. And I didn't know how to take down. I mean, I can do it, but I thought, hey, Fernando, could you show these guys how to do it and I'll pay you? Just because you've done it for so long, it's better if you show them how to do it. And he was like, no problem. So he came and did it, and he didn't want payment. So I appreciate him for that. So I did tell him I owe him. I don't know if I owe him a, you know, I don't know, a $200,000 account, but anyway, I do owe him. And what was I going to say with that? So while I was talking to him, I said, hey, everybody except this one guy didn't answer back, and he didn't tell me what size shirt he wants or anything. Like just nothing. He's like, all right, well, that guy, he doesn't know how to use the phone very well. So it's possible he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, okay, well, I've tried calling him and it won't go to him. So anyway, yeah, so everybody's coming back. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's a testament to, you know, our pay and the way we treat people. Although we are going to have a meeting and let them know that I only want strong people next year. Like I only want people that want to make money. That's all I want. So if you're somebody that's not going to finish your list with the good budget hours, we're going to give those houses to the people that are hitting their budget hours. Like that's the mentality we're going into next year. You get complaints, we're going to give that house to somebody else who can take care of it better. So you just have to be fast and good quality, and want to make as much money as possible. And we're going to give you as many houses as we can. And because Tommy Mello, man, he said the one thing you have to do is get rid of your low performers. You have to. He's like, that's the one thing you have to constantly do. Your low performers, get rid of them which, by the way, as far as mowing goes, like I don't feel like I have any low performers. I have my expectations were never expressed as much as I probably should, like I will this year. So they didn't know like how fast they actually have to go. Whereas this year we're going to be basically talking about it every single day. But yeah, everybody's coming back. How about you?
I have two guys. Well, my bad, I guess, is one of my main landscape guys in jail right now. So I got to kind of figure out what's going on with that, and I have no idea what's going on with that. So that's really nerve wracking. It's getting closer to starting. I actually have a lot of people that want to start doing small landscape stuff, and me and this other guy can do it, but it's kind of like I still want to be out bidding and selling, and the other guy doesn't have a crazy amount of experience yet where I can set him somewhere. And these early spring projects, we only do a few things, was going to be kind of his shadow time to shadow that main landscape guy. But now that landscape guy is not here, so I'm gonna have to be the guy who is the mentor, which is fine, but it kind of takes away from, just like the back end, like selling and estimating, and I don't know. That's like the big thing that's, I don't know, crazy. I almost thought about just hiring somebody else and cutting ties with that guy because there's been a lot of other issues with him. But
okay, yeah, because what I was going to say was it might be a good opportunity to find out what he needs to get out of there and what you can do to help, and that could build some loyalty from him, But if there's already issues and he's in jail, I mean, probably I don't know what he did or what, but
I mean, here's the one thing. He's really good at his job, and I know I've talked to you about him before. He has a problem with it's just all his personal life gets really in the way of work life. And I mean, I've told him hey, if you need an apartment, I'll front you the money, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then, hey, just go find an apartment you like. I'll give the first and last month and deposit whatever you need. He just won't go find an apartment, and I'm like, dude, I'm giving you free money. Like I'm giving you everything you need. You just don't want to do it for some reason. But then you want to sleep in the lot in your car or something. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want you sleeping there.
That's the other thing, dude. I hate when I see potential in somebody that I know if they really just gave it their all, like they would make a lot of money, their life would change, probably your business would grow. I kind of have somebody like that still
Mhm.
right now. Um, and I'm just gonna go with the whole low performer thing this year. It's like, hey, I got to talk with you. You got to step it up, or you got to go. But yeah, I've had guys like that, and it frustrates the hell out of me. And then I go year after year after year, and it's like now it's been all these years later, and I could have let him go and with my back against the wall, train somebody else, and I may be 5,000 steps ahead right now if I just would have did that a long time ago. But we are getting close to where I do have to go
Okay.
because I have a Zoom meeting at 10. But any last questions or anything?
With that, this is the last thing I guess is the reason you keep people like that on, is it like just say like for me it's I feel really bad. I want to help this guy and I will do anything, but it's like where's the point of all right, dude, you won't even go get the thing when I'm offering you all the finances for it that like you're just holding me back, like just like that guy you have at a point he's just holding you back where you can't feel bad anymore, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
because
I've
when
been
he is here, he produces and he does good. All my customers love him, but it's like that's cool, but like you cause so much friction on the back end of everything that's like it's not worth like you being so good at this because like the back end and me get so stressed out about like, hey dude, can I sleep at the shop tonight? It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't sleep at the shop. I want to get you an apartment or something. Like,
I feel like in that case, I'm trying to find the inner Tommy Mello, what he would say. And I think he would say, you take him, but if he's really as good as you say he is in with your business, he may be somebody that you do need to mentor outside of work. So, like, say, hey, dude, let's go find you a place. Like, we're gonna spend the day and find you a place. Or I've made some calls this week, and these are your options. Like, maybe do some work for that person. I know it sounds crazy, and I don't know if he would actually do this, but I feel like if he's somebody that's really good for your business, he might need help outside of business.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But usually somebody like that, they're not good with money. So
yeah,
you get them a place and they just lose it. I mean, because I feel like somebody that's really bad with their outside of life, like you're saying, outside of work, it probably is. I think that would be considered like a low performer kind of thing, where
mhm,
it's like you can't rely on them. Now they're in jail, and like it's like
yeah,
so you have to come up with your core values, right? Like what you want the perfect employees to be like, and you hire and fire to that. You know, so like if there's somebody that's like, in my opinion, we have efficiency. I know that's like the word that's been used more in business than anything else, efficient worker. But like
yeah,
if they don't go job to job to job to job, if they're taking 30-minute break in between every job, they can't work here. You know, so whatever your core values are, I think we've got 5 of them like that. And we're gonna have to. So one of those guys that I didn't let go, he didn't live any of these core values, probably none of them, but I kept them on. And now going forward this year, we've made a commitment with the management team that if somebody does not hold these standards, like they have to go. And that's kind of like, even though they're a good performer, but they're not professional. They don't do what's asked. You know what I mean? All these things, we got to let them go. But
yeah.
with
That
that,
makes
I've got
sense.
to go because
All
I've got
right,
an appointment at 10. All right,
sounds good.
Nico. Thanks for
All right,
signing on.
yep.
See you,
I'll see
everybody.
ya.